On our anniversary, I meticulously planned a grand proposal, but my girlfriend cheated on me. She was caught on camera kissing her childhood friend, captured from start to finish by drones I had set up. When I decided to break up, she thought I was just throwing a tantrum. She even said she'd give me another chance and told me to apologize to her childhood sweetheart. Later, she came begging me to help save her failing family business. I simply smiled and gave her 4 words. Not my problem, dude. Holy crap, dude, Samuel Reed shouted, waving his phone. You have to see this. The moment I looked at the screen, every drop of blood in my body turned to ice. There on the screen was Emily Johnson, my girlfriend, who had just left my side minutes ago, wrapped in a kiss with Tyler Bennett, her childhood friend. To prepare for tonight's proposal, I had set up multiple drones in the amusement park. I wanted to capture the happiest moment of my life from every angle. Instead, those drones ended up broadcasting her betrayal in real time. I went completely still, a stabbing pain surging through my chest. It felt like I had fallen into an endless abyss of ice. Today marked our 2nd anniversary. I had spent 2 whole months meticulously planning every detail of the day. We were supposed to meet at 4 p.m. Emily showed up an hour late. Adam Brooks, don't tell me the whole date is just here in the amusement park. She looked disappointed when she saw my empty hands. I rubbed my palms together, silently going over the rest of my planned surprises, then smiled with confidence. Of course not. I promise you'll love it. Emily flicked a strand of her perfectly styled hair and walked ahead of me in her high heels. She was stunning, radiant, and confident. The goddess of our company. I fell for her at first sight, and it took a long and determined chase before I finally won her heart. She always told me to focus on my career for a few more years to save up for a house and car. She said, once I was successful, we could talk about marriage. I was grateful that she never looked down on me for being poor. But starting today, I was no longer that broke guy living in a 1-bedroom rental. My father, impressed by my performance at our branch office, had just promoted me and handed over full control of the family business. He also lifted all financial restrictions on me. That's why I chose today of all days to propose, because I wanted Emily to share in my joy and my new future. We've been to this amusement park so many times already. It's nothing new. Emily pouted, reluctant to step inside. Tyler Bennett, her childhood friend, was someone she'd grown up with. I'd seen him many times over the past 2 years. To Emily, Tyler was special. No matter when or where, if he called, she would drop everything, including me, to go to him. I checked my watch. The fireworks and lighting show I had scheduled hadn't started yet. I tried to coax her gently. Come play with me for a bit. I've actually never been here before. As a kid, my parents were strict and made me focus on studies. I never really got to enjoy places like this. She raised an eyebrow. What kind of backwater town are you from that you've never been to an amusement park? I scratched my head awkwardly and laughed. There aren't many people here today, she observed, scanning the area before turning to me while I stood in line. The guest ahead of me stifled a laugh, then turned and winked at me while Emily wasn't looking. I had actually rented out the entire amusement park for the evening. Everyone here now, wandering around pretending to be regular visitors, were friends and family who'd heard about my big plan and came to help decorate the place or witness the moment. I subtly nudged the guy with my foot and brushed it off, saying, maybe there's some other event going on nearby. Emily chimed in. Tyler Bennett told me there'd be fireworks at Easttown around 7 tonight. We should be able to see them from here. Well, of course, I was the one who arranged them. After we tried 2 attractions, I figured it was almost time and began guiding her toward the east gate. That's when her phone rang. She didn't hesitate to answer it. Emily, I just got dumped. Tyler's slightly drunk voice came through the speaker. Emily's expression immediately changed. Where are you? My heart sank. A bad feeling crept in. The next second, she handed me her ticket and made a gesture that she was leaving. I grabbed her hand. You haven't seen the surprise yet. Don't go. My voice trembled. I was pleading. Emily didn't notice at all. She'd already gotten Tyler's location. She hung up, pulled her hand away, and said firmly, I've told you before. Tyler Bennett is important to me. She looked serious, as if reminding me of a long-established fact. I'd always been jealous of Tyler Bennett. She'd reassured me countless times with lines like, if anything were going to happen between us, it would have happened already. You wouldn't even be in the picture, but deep down, I knew Emily Johnson had always held a place in her heart for him. Tyler Bennett was the unreachable first love she could never let go of. Unfortunately, Tyler Bennett was a player through and through. There was never a shortage of women around him. Emily Johnson was just one of them, never quite holding the right place by his side. But today is our 2-year anniversary, and I have a surprise planned. Emily, her face flushed with anger, pushed past me and shouted, he just got dumped. Same old story with her. I was always second fiddle, forever, trailing behind Tyler Bennett. This time, I wasn't willing to back down. Then how about this? After your surprise tonight, I'll go with you to see him. Okay. Once tonight was over, she'd be my fiancée. Then surely she would finally see where I stood in her heart, right at the top. No, you don't get it, you're being so immature. She stumped away in her stiletto heels, not once looking back. She had left me once before, high fever and delirious, just because Tyler called her boring. She had dragged me on a 5-kilometer binge-walking spree once, all because Tyler missed the flavors of their childhood street food. Man, I got to say, your girlfriend doesn't seem to care much about you. Samuel Reed appeared beside me, slinging an arm around my shoulder. I clenched the tickets in my hand, steadied myself, and called Emily Johnson again. Emily, will you marry me? I asked, my voice trembling. Actually, my family's not that poor. I've already prepared a place for us. Emily, I'm done playing. I'm exhausted. Tyler Bennett's voice came through loud and clear on the other end. A burst of static crackled. Then the call dropped. She didn't even give me an answer. Tyler Bennett's breakup was only a short distance from the amusement park. By sheer coincidence, one of the drones I launched caught a blurry, intoxicated Tyler holding Emily and passionately kissing her. Samuel Reed was quick on the draw and saved the footage. I knew Emily had always felt something different for Tyler, but I thought that, by agreeing to be my girlfriend, she had decided to let that go. Tonight shattered that illusion. From beginning to end, Emily had only ever treated me as a backup, someone to keep around while she went after Tyler. At work, she never mentioned me to anyone, always reminding me to keep my distance. Whenever I talked about our future together, she'd change the subject, either deliberately or unconsciously. Even when we ran into her family or friends, she only ever referred to me as a colleague. Samuel patted my back, trying to lighten the mood. The fireworks you arranged are still happening, right? Everyone's waiting on your signal. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and messaged the group chat. The fireworks will go on as planned. Drinks are on me tonight. No one goes home sober. In the wild chaos of the bar, I raised my glass, climbed onto the DJ booth, and declared, I'm done with Emily Johnson. From now on, marriage is nobody's business but their own. No one needs to cover for her failing company or help with her projects anymore. The dance floor paused for a second, then erupted again. Yay, the world keeps turning without her. The sun still rises. Who really needs who? Samuel grabbed the mic and hyped the crowd. Adam Brooks is back. Everyone. I downed my drink and slipped into the crowd, ignoring my ringing phone dozens of times. I partied hard into the night and naturally showed up late to work the next day. The company transfer orders hadn't come through yet, so I was still at my desk. Adam Brooks, why are you late? Why didn't you answer my calls last night? Today's the project meeting with Tinmu Group. You didn't forget, did you? No sooner had I sat down than Emily slammed a folder on my desk. Without looking up, I kept typing out the handover list. Are you quitting? She was shocked when she saw the screen. Yeah, I gave a reluctant reply. I was about to be transferred to the parent company, handing my work to a newcomer. Quitting in all but name. What nonsense are you pulling now? She frowned. You still want to propose to me like this? She looked me up and down with contempt and whispered, that prepared place of yours. Bet it's just a one-bedroom apartment, huh? So, she'd heard everything. On the phone, wake up. Stop dreaming about things that won't just fall from the sky. She tapped the folder. The client sent Tyler Bennett this time. Go apologize to him. He waited an hour for you and didn't lose his temper. That project's still yours because of that. Yeah, right. I sneered inside. Seeing I still didn't respond, her face darkened and her tone sharpened. So, what if I stood you up? Today's my way of making it up to you with another date. I leaned back in my chair, raised an eyebrow, and asked, make up for what? She lowered her voice again, as if afraid someone might overhear. Anniversary. Remember, didn't you want to celebrate it? Oh, and what about the gift? You said you had a surprise for me. She actually held out her hand to me. I slipped my hand into my pocket and amid her eager eyes, pulled out my phone. Did you get a new phone? Her brows furrowed again. Relentless. You said you were going to get me a new phone. So why did you get one for yourself first? I want a new one. I don't want your used phone. You'd better buy me one after work. She started picking at every little thing, bossing me around like I was nothing. I scoffed coldly, utterly disappointed. How had I never noticed her true attitude toward me before? Could love really blind you? I tapped my phone and played a video in front of her. I watched her eyes go wide, then flicker with shock, and finally burn with fury. And I felt a bit of satisfaction stir in my chest. Where did you get this? She snatched the phone from me. Congratulations, ex-girlfriend. Looks like you got what you wanted. I smirked sarcastically. No. Panic finally crept into her eyes. He was drunk. Just drunk. There was nothing between us. The video froze on the last frame. Her wrapped in Tyler Bennett's arms, climbing into a taxi they hailed together. The taxi's license plate was clear as day. Last night at the bar, a photo of that same taxi dropping them off at their hotel had been sent to my phone. Don't overthink it. I just gave him a ride home. Before I could react, she deleted the video. Adam Brooks, you're being petty. Tyler Bennett and I are just childhood friends. It's nothing like what you think. I tilted my head, watching her act, suddenly feeling bored. I had actually liked this woman for 2 whole years. Looks like you're still not official. Well then you better try harder. I took the phone back from her. Don't worry, I've got the backup copy if you want it. The drone footage is clear and kind of artistic. Might as well keep it as a memento. I brushed aside the folder she'd slammed on my desk and turned back to my keyboard. She flushed red, then pale, unable to find a comeback. After a long silence, she shoved me again. Anyway, you were late to the project meeting this morning. You have to apologize to Tyler Bennett. Who does he think he is telling me to apologize? I snapped, done tolerating her. You. Emily Johnson was stunned. It was the first time she'd heard me speak to her so harshly. I'm your client, that's who. Tyler Bennett's voice rang out behind me. I could make you crawl on your knees. Would you dare stand up? Don't worry, Manager Tyler. I'll make sure to punish this lazy employee properly. I turned to see Tyler Bennett standing behind me, looking every bit the scheming villain. By his side was Jason Miller, who had long held a grudge against me, nodding, with a smarmy grin. Jason Miller, I said, standing up and greeting him. Before Jason could answer, Tyler's arrogant voice cut in again. You kept him waiting for an hour. Is it really so hard to come apologize? The surrounding colleagues' attention snapped to us. Some even got up from their desks to watch. I sighed and flipped open the folder in Emily's hand, pointing at the project. Team list. Excuse me, but where in this project list does my name appear? This project has nothing to do with me from start to finish. I don't need to attend some so-called project meetings. The office erupted in murmurs. Oh, so it's Emily Johnson's personal vendetta. What's Emily Johnson trying to do? Emily's face darkened. I called you last night to tell you Tyler Bennett wants you to handle this project. Oh, so it's unofficial. I nodded. In that case, I decline. Maybe my indifferent attitude riled Tyler Bennett's client authority because he pointed right at my nose and shouted, "You're just a broke loser, picky about your work. Take the project or I'll refuse to cooperate with your company." Jason Miller's face paled. Tyler Bennett represented Tianmu Group, one of the top players in the industry. Being part of Tianmu's supplier team was a coveted opportunity many small companies dreamed of. It was a shining point on any resume, and Jason Miller certainly wasn't about to miss out. Of course not, Manager Tyler. I'll have Adam Brooks apologize to you right away, Jason said, grinning fiercely. I scoffed internally. This project was negotiated between the parent company and Tianmu Group, delegated to the branch just to boost the branch's performance. There was no way some minor project manager like Tyler Bennett had the final say. Let whoever owns the project handle it. Why does it have to be me? I asked suspiciously. Tyler Bennett and I just didn't get along at all. So why was he so determined to drag me into this project? I even started suspecting there was something fishy going on behind the scenes. Keeping my cool, I used the excuse that I still had handover work to do and walked away with the documents. Jason Miller was so furious at my desk that he nearly smashed my computer. The transfer orders hadn't come through yet, but since this was a major deal between big companies, I felt I needed to get to the bottom of it. Emily Johnson wasn't willing to let it go and followed me all the way to the parking garage. Don't think that by doing this, you'll change how I feel about you, she snapped angrily. This is your last chance. If you don't go against Tyler Bennett, I might forgive you and we can stay together like before. I laughed as if I just heard the biggest joke on earth. After catching my breath, I said coldly, Emily, just what exactly do you think you are saying? Such ridiculous things, never mind who I am. As long as you cooperate with Tyler Bennett, you'll benefit. She was hinting that they could make a lot of money off this project together. Besides, if my family can use this chance to get close to Tianmu Group, I'll make sure to put in a good word for you in front of my parents. For the first time, I truly despised her. It was the first time I realized just how calculating and mean-spirited she really was. I have no interest in illegal dealings, and we're already broken up. Also, please move. I'm blocking my car. I pushed past her and got into my car. Emily's eyes widened again. Now you're all vain and flashy, renting a luxury car with money. I didn't bother to explain. I just rolled my eyes and drove off in the fancy car. In the side mirror, I saw Emily throwing a shoe at me in a fury. The supplier kickbacks and shady dealings in projects happen all the time. But what Tyler and Emily were doing was so blatant, even trying to drag me down and make me take the blame. That was something else entirely. Besides, Tyler Bennett's job was one I had arranged in the first place. At that time, Tyler had just jumped ship from his last company but was left hanging by the new one. Emily was upset and vented to me about it. Seeing her distressed, I felt sorry for her. Thinking I was helping her friend, I called my dad to recommend Tyler Bennett for a position. Dad was cautious, not wanting to expose my identity, and contacted an old friend from the Reed family who got Tyler into Tianmu Group. Tyler strutted around proudly, boasting several times in front of me about how effortlessly he landed the big company job. Little did he know, it was me who made it happen. Samuel Reed, tell your brother, I'm about to catch a rat. I sent the message to my good friend. Samuel Reed knew all about the feud between Tyler and me. He dropped his usual crowd and went straight to his family's company to get the project files Tyler was handling. My brother thought I was turning over a new leaf, almost handing me over to the company to be his workhorse. Samuel was the typical rich, second-generation playboy, great at partying, clueless about business. Taking the risk of being dragged back to the office by his brother, Samuel got me the documents, and I was grateful. Got the files. How do you want to catch this rat? Samuel asked, leaning over. I cross-checked the documents from both companies and quickly found the discrepancies. Anyone who reaches out gets caught. They're trying to drag me down and make me the fall guy because they're about to get exposed. I pointed at several data sets. Tell your brother to pause the project. I started planning my next move. Got it. Samuel grinned like he'd just been handed a royal decree. Can't wait to see how you're going to deal with those two scumbags. A few days later, Jason Miller bombarded me with frantic calls after the project was halted. I let it ring several times before answering. What's going on, Jason? Do you know? Because you disrespected manager Tyler, Tenmu Group has paused the project and is preparing to pull out. Jason's roar was loud enough to carry 2 blocks away. I instinctively moved the phone away from my ear. If this project falls through, you're out of here. Jason hung up before I could say a word. I scratched my head, swallowing the urge to ask who really caused the project to be paused. Soon after, Emily's message came through. This afternoon, the company arranged a meeting with the Tenmu Group project team. Tyler Bennett will be there. You need to go and apologize to them. Smooth things over. Samuel shouted. Miss Apology is back? No way. We're not letting them off the hook. That is illy. I ruffled his hair and took the chance to block and delete Emily Johnson from all my contacts. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I arrived punctually at the meeting room, dragging along Samuel Reed, who insisted on tagging along just to stir things up. Seeing Samuel's casual, arrogant demeanor, Jason Miller immediately tried to kick him out. But Samuel completely ignored his outbursts, crossed his legs, and plopped down into a chair like a true second-generation heir. I heard you want my brother to come and apologize. Well, I'm here to see that for myself. His rebellious attitude seemed to silence everyone in the room, especially after they noticed Samuel was decked out head to toe in flashy designer labels. Nobody was quite sure what to make of him. Who are you? Emily Johnson and Tyler Bennett exchanged glances before she finally spoke up. I placed the files I had prepared on the table and smiled coldly. You'd better worry about your own mess first. Jason Miller exploded with anger. Adam Brooks, what's the meaning of this? Bringing unrelated people to interfere with an official project meeting. Do you even respect your superiors or this company anymore? Unfazed, I plugged in my USB drive, opened my laptop, and started the video. We're only doing this for the good of the company, so we need to have a proper talk. On the big screen appeared a clear video exposing Jason Miller's ugly face, caught sexually harassing his subordinates. For a long time, countless female employees had suffered his abuses under the cover of his position. Many were too scared to speak out. Only a few who resisted were forced out quietly with no public exposure. I had collected videos from these women as evidence to fight for justice on their behalf. You're fabricating this. Jason Miller's face flushed red, but his greasy features betrayed no shame. I know Jason Miller is unhappy, especially since he has many grievances with company leadership. I clicked the mouse again, and an audio recording played through the room speakers. Those old fuddy-duddies and blonde brats are just lucky to have been born with silver spoons in their mouths. Let them try to keep up with me. I wouldn't even let them shine my shoes. When I get rich, I'll hand each of them a $100 bill just to clean my shoes. The branch company's general manager was also summoned by Tenmu Group to attend this meeting. Hearing these rebellious words, his face darkened like a burnt pot bottom. No, those aren't my words. Jason Miller stammered, pale as a ghost. This is all malicious editing by Adam Brooks. Don't believe a word of it. He's hated me for a long time and has been scheming to take my place. It's definitely him. He's the one plotting. Exposed publicly, Jason Miller went into a rage and hysteria. Oh, that was just audio. Want me to show you the video, too? I smirked and clicked to the next file. The rest is even worse. Jason Miller, are you sure you want to see it? Jason Miller knew his career was over. He slumped back, defeated, no longer arrogant. Watching all this unfold, Tyler Bennett and Emily Johnson looked at me like I was a stranger. Emily hesitated. Seeing Jason Miller utterly broken, Tyler turned to the branch manager and made his demand. Since Jason Miller is stepping down, I want Adam Brooks to take full charge of this project. He still hadn't given up on dragging me into this mess. Before the manager could respond, Samuel Reed spoke up. I got to ask, why do you always want to dump the Chimu project on my brother? You and my brother aren't exactly friends. You might as well call you enemies. Why must you insist on my brother handling it? Got some dirty motives you're hiding, huh? I couldn't hold back and burst out laughing. Tyler Bennett, embarrassed and angry, pointed at Samuel and shouted, "Who the hell are you to be bossing people around at our internal project meeting?" Samuel's assistant stepped forward at just the right moment. "Manager, Tyler, what's the surname?" "Of the Chenmu Group, Reed," Tyler replied without hesitation. "Well then, what's wrong with Samuel Reed looking after his own family's business?" The assistant looked at Tyler like he was crazy. Samuel crossed his legs even higher. "Samuel Reed?" Tyler swallowed nervously. "Second son of the Reed family. Yep, can't change my name or who I am. Samuel Reed, at your service." Samuel grinned and pointed at himself. Samuel Reed's name alone was enough to make Tyler visibly weaken. Seeing my moment, I projected the PowerPoint I'd painstakingly prepared over several sleepless nights onto the big screen. It clearly listed every project Tyler Bennett had managed since joining Chenmu Group. Behind each project was a string of figures, money Tyler had skimmed off from those deals. Tyler's face went pale, though he still clung to whatever shred of the reason he had left. "Adam Brooks, what do you mean by this?" I smiled softly. It was time for my final blow. "Manager Tyler, you're the second person today to ask me that." I flipped through a few more slides. The first guy who asked was escorted out by security and is probably already checking in at the police station. The PPT stopped at the pages, showing the tampered data. Ready to face the music, I shot him a sly, sinister smile. Sensing things were going south, Emily Johnson quickly called for a pause and dragged me into a corner. "Tyler just wants to make big money with you. How could you betray him like that?" she complained, her face full of grievance. "Isn't it better for everyone to share the profits? Besides, with his help, wouldn't it be great to put my own company on the map in the supplier circle?" I was utterly dismayed to realize that beneath Emily Johnson's pretty exterior was such a foolish mind. Did she really think that all this money deserved to flow into the pockets of greedy people like them? "Emily Johnson, you're free to jump into the fire with Tyler Bennett if you want, but you have no right to shove me into the flames and then try to bury me as the scapegoat." Ignoring her protests, I laid bare all of Tyler Bennett's usual dirty tricks. He exploited loopholes in audits to subcontract projects to smaller suppliers, pocketing the price differences for himself. Only the first few batches of these orders were guaranteed quality. After all, products produced at heavily slashed costs couldn't maintain lasting quality. He also used the Tianmu Group's name to charge fees from the small suppliers, so-called entry fees, to join the supplier circle. But in reality, it was just double-dipping with kickbacks. When product quality inevitably blew up, he needed a scapegoat to take all the blame. He wanted me in the project team so I'd sign off on the documents, making it easier to dump responsibility for quality management onto me. Tyler Bennett, a two-faced crook who pockets kickbacks from both sides. I nodded to Samuel Reed and said, "The TMU Group has already compiled your evidence and submitted it to the police. I'm guessing your New Year's Eve dinner this year will be inside a detention center." Tyler Bennett's mouth opened and closed, but he was utterly lost for words. I had organized the data meticulously. There was no way he could deny it. "One last thing. You should know the project suspension was specifically to gather evidence against you. If you'd stopped in time, we might not have moved so fast to put you behind bars." I threw several payment slips on the table. "During these few days of suspension, you still pressured the small suppliers to rush payments and deliveries. You handed us the smoking gun. You can't expect us to go easy on you." Knock, knock, knock. A knock sounded at the door. Emily Johnson, flustered, opened it to find uniformed police officers standing outside. "Tyler Bennett, please come with us and bring your ID," the lead officer added, effective immediately. "All computers and devices used by Tyler Bennett at your company are sealed. Our cyber forensics team will follow up with you." Tyler Bennett, utterly defeated, was led away by the police. The branch manager was so stunned he couldn't speak. "Adam Brooks, what are you doing? How's my company supposed to operate like this?" Samuel Reed finally uncrossed his legs and walked over, patting the manager's shoulder. "Don't worry, Adam Brooks is one of us." "Adam Brooks." The manager's mouth dropped open so wide you could fit an egg in it. "What's going on? You forgot who your head office is." Samuel Reed swiftly pulled out a document stamped in red from his pocket. "Look closely. This is the official transfer order. From now on, you'll be addressing Adam Brooks as General Manager Brooks." I shook my head and smiled. Riley Samuel poked me with a finger. "Hey, should I make a dozen copies of this transfer order and hand one to everyone at your branch, including the cleaning staff, and maybe stick a big photo on it, too, so they actually know who you are?" I pushed him away. "Get lost." We laughed together, having easily taken down the major enemies. Just as we were packing up to find somewhere to celebrate, Emily Johnson stood frozen in front of me. "Are you really Owen Parker's son?" Her eyes brimmed with tears. full of reluctance. Why didn't you tell me? Why did you lie and say you were poor? Her entitled complaint made me laugh. In fact, I never once said I was poor to her. When my dad sent me to the branch, I was only given a tiny one-bedroom apartment. He cut off my cards and made it clear I could only live on my salary. Used to spending freely, I was suddenly shackled and didn't know how to budget. So, my paycheck always disappeared quickly. I told you I'm not poor, just temporarily strapped, I said, often. But she probably thought I was just making empty promises. As long as I can afford it, I've got presents ready for every big and small occasion. I felt a little sad. Those gift boxes at your place, have you even opened them yet? If you did, you'd see all the expensive stuff inside. Emily Johnson's lips trembled, unsure how to respond. She probably always thought I couldn't afford any decent gifts. So, she never took the ones I gave seriously, just tossing them carelessly in a corner. All your hearts with Tyler Bennett. Naturally, my gifts mean nothing to you. I finally understood it all. I was just your backup, the one who made you feel comfortable enough to keep waiting around for Tyler Bennett. Well, now you're free to be with him. The co-workers who have been quietly watching the drama unfold suddenly exploded with gossip. What? Adam Brooks and Emily Johnson dated? Since when? Sounds like they were together for quite a while. Our general manager, Brooks, was just a backup boyfriend. That's hilarious. I didn't bother arguing with Emily Johnson anymore. I grabbed Samuel Reed and left the branch office. Samuel, ever the gossip, asked how I planned to get back at Emily. I shrugged casually. No need for anything special. Just make sure she lives with regret for the rest of her life. That's punishment enough. I was grateful she never looked down on me for being poor. Tyler Bennett was arrested on charges of embezzlement. Due to the large amount involved, he faced more than 3 years in prison. Emily Johnson was directly fired from the branch because of this scandal. She somehow found out about the grand proposal I had secretly arranged at the amusement park on our anniversary and shamelessly came back to me. By then, her little company was in deep trouble, dragged down by Tyler Bennett's case. Without the support of my friends, I was certain her company's cash flow would soon dry up and vanish from the market. Adam, I know you still love me. I saw the fireworks that night. They were beautiful with both our names. I was wrong. Please, give me another chance. I promise I'll treat you right. Help save my company. My parents have worked their whole lives for this small business. It's just a little thing for you, General Manager Parker. You can fix this with a snap of your fingers. Don't just stand by and watch me drown. Adam Brooks, for the sake of our 2 years together, please forgive me. For the first time, Emily Johnson wept in front of me, tears streaming down her face, sounding utterly pitiful. But I had long lost all feelings for her. When a man's heart hardens, there's no turning back. The fireworks were indeed beautiful enough to make headlines. It was only natural she saw them, but at that moment, she was locked in a kiss with her so-called childhood sweetheart. They say couples who kiss under fireworks stay happy forever. That was supposed to be my wish, but none of that matters anymore. I brushed off her hands, clinging to my coat, and stepped past her, leaving her with just 4 words, none of my business.